Hello everyone, this is Marcel here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about women and how they lie, why there's a difference in the genders in respect to it. Then I will go over ways to spot and break down some of these lies to see them for what they are. So when I refer to lying, I mean the kind outside of the gray area of embellishment or white lies, though they are a factor and have a compounding effect. Would it surprise you to know that in my entire life, every woman that I've been with for more than a couple of weeks has lied to me and I've caught her in the act? Now, when I say that, I don't suspect that I caught them every time. In fact, I think that there was a lot more going on that I was completely unaware of. I had one girl back when I was younger try and tell me she had a child in Europe. At the time, I was somewhat naive and took her for her word, but I questioned the fact that she didn't have any stretch marks and that I had never heard of this child prior to that point. Looking back on it, I believe she would tell me stories like that to elicit a particular emotional response out of me. She was still developing her skills at it, and that's why I was able to pick apart her story fairly easily. Most lies are not that dramatic though. That was kind of a big one. I found it interesting, now that that girl is an adult, she doesn't mention that supposed child, which by the way does not exist. But if you go up to her and ask about him, as if you already know the story, she'll start automatically talking about him as if he does. Programming is still there even years later. Most of us, hopefully, don't have to deal with people like that. So as for my claim that there is a difference between the genders in how they lie, I believe women lie more often, more effectively, and with less repercussions when caught. They are far more skilled than men when it comes to dealing with emotions, both in receiving or recovering from negative emotions, as well as eliciting emotions from other people by what they say and do. Though those skills in of themselves do not cause a person to become a liar, they are required to be a good liar. It is believed scientifically that there are physiological differences in those skilled at the art of deception. It has to do with the ratio of gray matter to white matter in relation to the prefrontal cortex. So we can establish that it's more than just something we learn. Then factor in a person's ability to hold multiple sets of even conflicting information in their mind at the same time. That is also necessary to be a good liar. This correlates with the fact that women are much better multitaskers. Then take into account that being able to lie effectively is an evolutionary advantage, and therefore those who can do it well are more likely to breed and pass on those genetic traits to their offspring. SciShow covers this topic fairly well. I'll put a link to his video down in the description below. So you may ask yourself, why is it men don't just become better liars or better at detecting lies? And that has to do with how society addresses when someone lies and they get caught. When you think of stereotypical lies when it comes to men, it's normally equivalent to, no, I didn't look at that girl. Yes, it's actually 8 inches, and no honey, you really don't look fat in that dress. We lie to protect ourselves from repercussions or to save face, most of the time. When a guy puts in the effort to develop even half the deceptive skills when it comes to manipulating social situations that a woman has, they're essentially a pickup artist. I don't condemn them for doing this. Honestly, I kind of see it as evening the score. So why is it that society will often take such a negative viewpoint on men who do those things, whereas even the average woman will do 10 times that? It comes down to the perpetual female victim complex. If a woman is caught lying, it's not because she's simply a liar, it's because something has happened to cause her to do that which is not her fault. When I was preparing for this video, I came across a YouTube channel called Open Box Productions where they discuss this, why people lie in relationships. One of the first things mentioned is that if women lie, they probably have a good reason in which they're implied to be a victim, or something is wrong in the relationship. They offer no equivalent male explanation or justifications later on in the video. Then you factor in how many men are falsely accused of rape with almost no social repercussions to the woman, and how makeup is often used as a form of deception rather than simply a tool to enhance or highlight a woman's individual qualities. It becomes fairly clear that deceit is condoned with women in society, and condemned when equivalent behaviors are performed by men. Then when females are genuinely caught red-handed, it is often just a wink and a giggle away from being all forgiven. So what is it we can do to protect ourselves from all this nonsense? Firstly, when interacting with people, we need to actually pay attention to what is said and done. When someone makes an unusual claim or something seems too good to be true, dig for more specific details in the form of showing a genuine interest in whatever they are telling you. If they're being truthful, it will boost their confidence and make them feel good that you care about what they're saying. If they're lying, they'll have to fabricate more elaborate information, and then they're more likely to slip up. This also allows you to force them deeper into their fabrication, so when you confirm that it's a lie, they're less able to say that it was a misunderstanding. There are ways to detect lies through a person's physical behaviors, the way they shift their eyes or touch their face and neck. Those are effective, but they're very involved. Watch for behavioral changes in a person while they're talking to you. Anything out of the ordinary. That's the best way I can summarize the physical part of it. And that brings me to my next point. If the person has lied to you before and you've caught them, assume they may be lying to you again. Promises that it will never happen are only worth as much as the person's honesty to begin with. More often than not, we are willing to forgive someone in an effort to preserve a relationship or friendship, rather than condemn their actions of having lied to us in the first place, even on small accounts. That is not to say that people can't improve, though it is generally not the case. When we perpetually forgive someone for lying to us even in small situations, we are telling them that that behavior is appropriate and that we are willing to accept it, and they will lie in bigger ways. A good rule of thumb to have is don't give second chances. If someone doesn't respect you enough to listen to you when you catch them the first time, they never will. We really do teach people how to treat us. I hope my thoughts on this were helpful. I will include links to the videos I discussed in the description down below. I will ask that these people not get trolled or harassed. I would honestly like them to keep posting their thoughts because it just increases the evidence showing that this is all correct. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to hear more, like and subscribe.